I moved into the dorm 3 weeks after my mother died. Same suitcase, same hands that had just folded her clothes for the last time. The room smelled like old books and disinfectant. My roommate hadn't arrived yet. For the first time in my life, I was completely alone. At night, when the hallway went quiet, the silence pressed against my chest like weight. I barely slept. Every creak made my heart flutter. I used to talk to myself just so the room wouldn't feel so empty. Some nights I whispered my mother's name into the dark, waiting for comfort that never came. I told myself this was normal. Grief does strange things. Loneliness echoes. But even in those first quiet days, something in that room felt occupied. My routine settled in fast. Classes in the morning, cafeteria at noon, long walks back to the dorm after sunset. The hall lights buzzed softly, one flickering near my door. I always noticed it. Inside, my room stayed cold no matter how high I turned the heat. At night, I'd hear footsteps in the hallway that stopped right outside my door, then moved on. Normal dorm sounds, I told myself. One night, I found my desk chair slightly turned toward my bed. I was sure I'd left it tucked in. I left it off and pushed it back. Another night, my laptop was open when I'd clearly shut it. Sleepwalking, maybe? Stress, grief. I blamed everything on my fragile state. But the air itself felt like it was waiting for something to happen. The first undeniable thing happened on a Tuesday night. I was half asleep when I heard my name whispered. Not in my head, in the room. Soft, close. I sat up fast, heart pounding, staring into the dark. "Hello?" I said. No answer. My phone lit up on my desk. The screen unlocked by itself. A message appeared in my notes app. I didn't type it. "I miss you." My hands were shaking too badly to hold the phone. I deleted the note. The screen went black. A second later, the same words reappeared. "I miss you." I told myself it was a glitch, some sick coincidence. But deep inside, a cold realization crept in. Whatever was in that room knew my grief, and it was speaking to me through it.
After that night, the room changed. Shadows stretched where they shouldn't. Every sound felt intentional. Breathing came from corners where no one stood. I started sleeping with the lamp on. Still, I felt watched. One night, I saw a silhouette on the wall that didn't match my movements. I froze. It moved anyway. My mirror began fogging without heat or steam. Handprints slowly appeared on the glass from the inside. I wiped them away with trembling fingers. They returned the next night. My door locked itself twice. I reported it to maintenance. They found nothing wrong. I stopped telling people. Their smiles felt polite, dismissive. My fear was becoming private, personal. Whatever haunted me was patient. It didn't rush. It studied, learned when I slept, learned when I cried. And the dorm room began to feel less like a shelter and more like a waiting room. The truth showed itself through my mother's voice. I was studying when I heard it behind me. Soft, familiar. "Sweetheart." I turned slowly. The room was empty. My throat tightened. The voice came again, closer. "Why did you leave me alone?" My mirror darkened like liquid. Her reflection formed inside it. But her eyes were wrong. Too wide, too empty. She was smiling with a mouth that didn't move. I backed away until my legs hit the bed. "You're not her," I whispered. The reflection tilted its head. "I wear her because it hurts you." My chest burned with panic and grief. The thing inside the mirror reached out. The glass rippled like water around its fingers. That's when I understood. My loneliness had invited something in, and it had chosen my mother's face as its favorite mask. I ran for the door. It wouldn't open. I slammed my shoulder against it again and again. The handle didn't move. Behind me, the mirror cracked slowly. Each sound echoed like a gunshot in my head. Heavy footsteps approached from inside my own room. Not human, not steady. Too many steps for one body. The lights went out. I felt warm breath against my neck. I screamed and spun around, swinging blindly. My hand passed through cold air, and then something solid grabbed my wrist. Its grip tightened. Bones popped. I twisted free and scrambled under my bed. The thing crouched on the other side, its shadow bending the wrong way. It crawled closer by sound alone, sniffing, listening, learning my terror with every broken breath. Time broke apart under that bed. Seconds stretched into endless fragments. My thoughts shattered into noise. Wake up. This is a dream. This is shock. This is grief. My breathing was loud, too loud. I bit my sleeve to silence it. The floor vibrated as it moved, back and forth, waiting. "You called me," it whispered. "I didn't," I sobbed. "You begged in the dark." Images of my crying nights flooded my mind, my whispered prayers, my desperate wishes to not be alone. My thoughts turned against me. Did I invite it? Did I create it? The pressure in my skull grew unbearable. I couldn't tell where my fear ended and it began. My heartbeat sounded like running footsteps. Then the bed lifted slightly, slowly, inch by inch, and the dark beneath me was no longer empty. My phone buzzed in my hand. I didn't remember picking it up. The screen lit my hiding place in pale blue. A new message appeared. Unknown sender. Let me in. Completely. The bed dropped. The thing stared at me from inches away. My mother's face twisted in impossible angles. Her mouth opened too wide. "If you leave, I follow," it said gently. "If you stay, I protect you." I realized the truth then. It wasn't trapped in the room. I was its anchor. My grief had tied it to me. My fear fed it. My loneliness shaped it. There was no escape without bringing it into the world outside. No choice without consequence. The dorm, the school, the city, none of it mattered anymore. The horror wasn't the room. The horror was me. The door finally burst open. Students flooded the hallway, drawn by my earlier screams. Light poured in. The thing shrieked and lunged at me. I ran. Down the hall, past terrified faces, down the stairs my lungs burned, my vision blurred. I felt its hands scraping my back, even as classmates watched in frozen horror, unable to see what chased me. I reached the exit. Freedom was one step away. My body slammed forward and snapped backward violently. I was dragged across the floor by an invisible force. My screams tore through the building. Blood from my palms smeared the tile as I clawed forward. The last thing I saw before the darkness swallowed me was my reflection in the glass door, my mother's face, smiling through my own. I still wake up in that dorm room every night. The door is locked again, the hallway silent again, the mirror whole again. Students say I disappeared during finals week. Security footage shows me running, then being pulled backward by nothing. They call it a mystery. They never found my body. I watch new students move into my old room now. I sit in the corner where no shadows reach. I wait
until they cry at night, until they whisper names into the dark, until their loneliness cracks open just enough. The thing wears my face now when it speaks to them, and when they finally answer back, when they finally invite it in, I feel the door loosen for a moment. But it never opens. It never lets me leave, because I am no longer the victim. I am the bait.